It says it's live. It is December 10th, 2025, and a lot is going on. So much is happening like right now. It's amazing. It's concerning. It's no fear. It's just the promises are they're happening. I got guided back to when they did the Satanicon, when they did the rituals over in Salem, and then that was the year the five men drowned by the Titanic. Then King Charles was coronated because that was a dark ceremony. And like I said, I was got let those who are with me here pay attention to the levels of things that are going to take place since that point in time. And this isn't about giving it energies. We're able to most don't even realize they're in a spiritual battle right now. They really don't. And this is for those who understand. This is a spiritual battle. It's not because we're looking for the spiritual battle. It just is a spiritual battle, a revealing, a significant also revealing, and it's also about knowing one's soul through this time as well. Um, Looking at that, what they're calling a monolith out in Joshua Tree, okay, very mystical place, Joshua Tree, and that what got like a sign with that. I think that's something about that is actually getting guided like that's in scripture. Um, with that doorway appearing, and that's a doorway. Like there's no doubt about that. It doesn't get any clearer to like that's a doorway. And something came through it, and yes, they're using the matter in our world. That's why they use all this spray and stuff because it needs matter to take on form. Um, I take the spiritual world seriously, and the Bible's a spiritual, supernatural book. Christ is supernatural. It's supernatural. It's spiritual, and we're in this time. I feel like that's if you went and looked at the Vatican. If I had the way to do it, I would. And I will look it up online and stuff. The wall, and this is goes. It's a wild. This goes along with like even Stranger Things with the wall. For anyone who watched Stranger Things, those dudes didn't just sit up in a room and think that shit up. That is the Montauk Project, and they use it through entertainment to show us the truth, to try to insult your intelligence so that you think you're really watching entertainment. It's not. It's showing truth. Could it be embellished a bit? Of course. But is it? I don't know. But does that stuff exist? Absolutely it does. You know why? Because scripture even says so. Um, it's no joke. So that reminds me of the peace that's under the Vatican because the Vatican's evil. Remember, they opened St. Peter's tomb, they opened Lucifer's tomb. Then you had a crowning of a young blood. They used the entertainment industry. Lucifer was a musician, for real. People still think Lady Liberty is Lady Liberty. It's they don't understand that that's Lucifer. And then when the moon aligned with that, it was like that was a sign. That was a significant sign. There's no coincidence the moon with that aura around the top of that torch as the light bearer lit up. There's no coincidence with that. And then this monolith opens up. They've been doing dark rituals. They just did one in August and September. There was a blood moon, the dragon. The dragons are here. They're etheric, they're spiritual, they're supernatural, they're in the physical form. They're moving through these volcanoes. Something, some things came through that doorway in California, and that's a ley line. It's deep. It's really deep. That is on a ley line there. It was people could see the smoke for miles from it, from that doorway. It was hot. No one could touch it. It's like touching lava. It was smoking because it just closed back up. Things came through that. And there was a reason it was in Joshua Tree. It's not far from really Mount Rainier, Mount Washington, Shasta, Yellowstone. It's connected. Near the Ring of Fire, Alaska just had an earthquake. Japan just had an earthquake. Um, this is very, very spiritual, what's going on right now. And I was getting reminded about paying attention to that marker, that time marker of when that satanic con happened that year, along with the five men that passed away over the Titanic, and then the coronation, and then the young blood, and then the get your wings, and there's so many more signs that's been going on since that ceremony that took place. Remember, it was a sacrifice, a ritual is a sacrifice. Five men are no longer here. Over the Titanic, over that body of water in Atlantis. There's a volcano down there too. It's like Joe versus the volcano. It's all connected. There's more, and the more, and put them in the comments, the things that you remember from that time on, especially those who've been with me till right here, right now. This is significant. You have Gabriel that's here. Michael's here. Christ is here. Um, and they're going to be in a physical form. And for those who know Christ, you know Christ. You know Christ is here. There's no way Christ wouldn't be here with all this going on. Creator God of all that is cast down seven fallen angels here. And we're in this time. We really are in this timeline. It's like a twilight zone. You have Christmas coming up, which is Saturnalia. I'm sorry for those, like, not trying to hurt your feelings, and I know a lot of people still fall for the Christmas thing. Believe me, that wasn't easy for me. I loved Christmas, but when I found out Christ wasn't even born on Christmas, and when you understand about Saturnalia and Baal, it shifts your perspective. It's not about being negative. It really shifts your perspective out of the lie, and it's disturbing. And you're supposed to be disturbed so that you can work through it to get to the next level. It's spiritual growth, right? And seeing the truth of where we really are. A lot of things are happening. Ships are appearing. Huge orbs are appearing. You have cryptics that are appearing, and more than they've ever been seen before. Gates are open. They have what they're calling CMEs, and they're calling them the Northern Lights. It's a gateway that's opened, and it is radiation. It would need that level to open. And I mentioned, remember, and then we have the Olympics that happened with the white horse coming out from under the bridge, the horseman. And there was something else. There was something else. And I just lost it. I just lost it. But there was something else. It was like, there's been so many significant events taken place since that time. What, for the past 2 or 3 years? I actually forget when that happened with the Titanic. I have to Google that and look that date up. I want to Google and look up the piece underneath the Vatican they have. I believe that's Morning Star. It's both. Remember, they were twins. They were twins. Um, I feel like it would look like a piece of that wall that has all those, it's not easy doing this. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't like showing that stuff, and I don't, but this is what's going on. You can put your head in the sand and bury it. That's okay. You can live your life like none of this is going on. That's okay. There's some of us that don't, and we understand, and we're seeing, and we want to understand more. These CMEs, that's just a different label of the gate is open. Orion's shield was breached. The dragons are here. We're on a dragon. We're on a carcass, which is a dragon, multiple dragons. Things are happening. Remember that the rivers dried up. These were signs. The rivers turned blood red. These are signs. The moon's been turning blood red. These are signs that were being shown. The Messiah promised us, I will show you signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars. The moon is rolling. Finally, there's people finally seeing that. They're like scratching their head. How long have we been seeing it? And it's not like a competition thing. Like, we've been noticing it since like maybe about 2005 to 2009. And the moon's just been rolling and rolling. It's rising later. It's rising all over the place. These storms, land grabs. It's these physical beings that you see run the world, if you will. They're not like, they're of a different level. They just, and it looks like a physical meat suit. It's just a different level. Something came through that doorway at Joshua Tree, and more will be revealed. It wouldn't surprise me if there's more that appear. They're doorways. Peru has a doorway. You know, there's a few doorways here. That is an evil doorway, and I keep getting about the red rocks, and I know I'll get shown what it is at some point, but it had something to do with the red rocks with this. It's not really realistically that far away in the bigger picture. Um, some of you will have a connection with a higher being, a higher vibrational being. That's coming. That's coming. Some of you may have are going to have different kinds of encounters too, because these cryptics are, it's not a joke. You know, it really isn't. Um, more and more is happening. People are not what you think they are, and people are going to get stranger and stranger because they're really not like you and I. They're different. But that was definitely a doorway, and I feel like it's connected to the piece to the Vatican. And I'm going to check that out after. So I got to go, but I just wanted to hop on real quick and kind of talk about that because there's a lot going on, and I honestly haven't had the time because I've been wanting to do videos on this stuff because it's so many signs, and it isn't to be scared. No fear, right? No fear. Be smart though. Be really smart. Um, the deception is deep. The deception is very deep, and it's very real. And you don't want to be deceived, for we are in this world. We are not of this world at all. We're not of this place. And for those who see, you're seeing. A lot of us already see through a lot of this illusion here. We do, and it's not pretty behind the veil. I wish it were. It is. It wants to. The gates are open. You know that all these soul. They're beings. They're spiritual beings coming through with this energy. It's not just radiation. Like there's more to it than that. It's very spiritual. It's very supernatural, and it's gates opening. Um, and heaven looks like that. Heaven is all the colors, and more colors you don't even know exist. And it's beautiful, and it's bright, and it's home, and it's comforting. It's not the white light. It's very different, and I know because I've experienced it. I've experienced it, and it's love. It's love. Remember, this is all temporary, but the show is certainly interesting, isn't it? Because I think it is. I don't fear it. I'm not naive to it either. Now, more and more is coming through. The more some of these people that are out there, like they're doing all kinds of stuff. Because that's, they want, you have new paranormal investigators that are out there, and they're doing things that maybe years ago would have been different, but not now. These things are looking for ways in. They use everything. Remember, it went from analog to digital for a reason. Enki and Enlil are here. They're right in your face every single day, and they really are. And it's shifting quicker and quicker. Right now, it's so pitch black out, and it's like 7 o'clock. It was like that at 5 o'clock. It's colder out. It's connected to all of this. The spirit world's cold. You ever had an experience with a spirit? It's chilly. It's very chilly. Even archangels, and you can also get very, depending on the archangel, you can start getting really sweaty and hot as well, which isn't a bad thing because that means a lot of stuff is coming out of you, which is good. But spirit's cold. It's chilly. So that's all I wanted to do right now. I just wanted to come on and talk about that doorway because that's something to talk about. And they're really trying to play it off like it's some Canadian video gamer that set this out there. Like I don't. You can't lift that. It appeared on December 8th. The date is significant. The ley line is significant. It was molten hot. It was sealing back up. It has nothing to do with no damn video gamer. Unless you want to talk about a Matrix video gamer, who we call Elon Musk. but they opened up a damn door there. Oh, they did. And just pay attention. Not that you're not paying attention, because I know people who are with me, they're paying attention. Um, there was angels being filmed on live, news casts. APEP, don't forget about APEP. And back in, 2 Aprils ago, when we had that lunar eclipse, that there's no such thing as an eclipse. There is no such thing as a friggin' eclipse. The sun and the moon rise on the same side. Yes, the moon's been all over the place rising, and the sun and the moon have been in the sky at the same time. But there's just way too many of these eclipses. This is CERN. This is a doorway open, and they released APEP. They use these names for a reason. They don't just think it's cute and let's call it this. It's for a reason. Um, Getting a lot about Thoth too, right? Anubis. Anubis is an opening of a way. The battle is here. The battle will take place on Earth. The Earth will rock. We will wobble. And they don't talk enough about that it has to do with the spirit world. They want you to believe it's freaking planets and asteroids, and I get that to a point, but it's bigger, it's spiritual. It's just in a different density, so it's gonna look like one thing, but it's really another.